Part 13. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 121. At the very beginning, Bayou hoped in his heart that the more skills he had, the better. But after this period of fighting, he found that many skills were inferior to defeating the enemy with one move. The most important thing is his exclusive skill Shura, which is a skill with no upper limit. Especially after devouring 20 animal devil fruits, his power has become comparable to that of the giants. If other skills can be integrated, his strength will definitely change qualitatively. The first skill he chose was the most commonly used one-sword Shura. The two forces began to collide within the body. This feeling is just like when the exclusive skills were first generated, it is very uncomfortable. As the two forces in the body collide and merge, Bayou's body is also emitting powerful energy. Everyone on the pirate ship felt that this energy was very shocking. Especially Caesar and Luo, they were so frightened that their faces turned pale. The children on the boat had already been stunned by the energy. What on earth is Bayou doing? Why do you act so domineering? Luffy looked at the cabin in confusion. This is not just domineering, but also other auras. Zoro said with a serious expression. It seems that Bayou's strength is about to improve again, and we must not fall behind and improve our strength as soon as possible. Anilu looked serious. He had been trying to surpass Bayou. But every time he felt that he was about to get close, Bayou would let him see the gap. And the gap was getting bigger and bigger. He must defeat Bayou. Boom. A cannonball landed next to the pirate ship and exploded. Another new navy. There are a lot of warships. Anilu frowned. He could feel that Bayou was at a critical moment and could not be disturbed at this time. Now so many warships came again. Thick cannonballs flew over. Asshole. Luffy jumped into the air, rubber balloon. Bang. All the artillery shells were bounced away. However, dense shells came right after. We can't delay, there are too many people on the other side, Frankie. Nami saw the dense warships behind her and immediately made a decision. Withdraw. Hurry up. The wind is coming to blast. Frankie roared. Bang. The Wanli Sunshine instantly flew into the sky. Wings appeared on both sides of the sky and flew into the distance. Straw Hat Luffy, clone Bayou. You can't run away. Zifa's eyes were cold, pursue at full speed. This is the battle to establish the power of their new navy. As long as they can defeat the Straw Hats, the new navy will have a foothold in the new world. After all, the current Straw Hats are called the fifth Emperor of the Sea. Winning the fifth place, the Emperor's achievements will definitely make the new navy famous in the sea. By then, more people will join the new navy. At that time, the Straw Hat pirates landed safely on the sea. Before they could breathe a sigh of relief, the navy's warships appeared again. Are these people crazy? Nami was speechless. They had just entered the new world and so many people came to arrest them. It seems that because of what happened to the celestial dragons, world conquest probably wants to capture us all and make them slaves to the celestial dragons. Robin analyzed it calmly. Robin, can you stop saying scary things so calmly? Usopp was shaking with fear. He didn't want to be a slave. I don't want to be a slave. Chopper was also very frightened. Since they want to start a war with us, let's start a war. When we first arrived in the new world, we were chased by a group of Marines. I felt very unhappy. Zoro's face was full of murderous intent. In the war at the top, he faced Hawkeye and was not afraid of the vice admirals of the Navy. But now he came to the new world and was chased by a group of new Marines who didn't know who they were. Was chased by the Navy again. I don't want to run away either. Luffy shook his fist. Then hit them. If they don't hurt them, we will be annoyed to death in the future. Sanji said and lit a cigarette. It's so exciting, my heart beats faster, even though I have no heart, yo ho ho ho. Brooke stood up. It can only be the. Anilu said and looked at the cabin, you can't let anyone disturb by you. It's best to find a place to land. We have no advantage at sea. If there's really nothing you can do, leave it to me. Nami looked helplessly at these fighting madmen. We can help too. Luo stood up and said. Yes, yes, we can help. Caesar also stood up. Snow Maiden Monet also stood up. Although she didn't speak, her attitude was very obvious. Do you want to escape? Nami looked at several people with unkind eyes. No, how could it be? We will not betray Lord Bayou. Caesar waved his hand quickly. We can't trust you yet, and we don't need you to take action. We can still deal with these people. Jinbei looked at the three of them seriously, his warning meaning was very obvious. All right. Luo nodded without saying anything and sat directly on the ground. I'm going to check if there are any nearby islands where I can land. As Wei Wei said, she turned into a bird and flew into the sky. Boom. The shell exploded. Divine punishment. Anilu stretched his arms to the sky. Boom. The warship in the distance was instantly destroyed. Nami, go straight ahead. There is a desert island not far away. Wei Wei flew back. Frankie. Nami shouted quickly. Clear. The wind is coming to blast. The Wanli sunshine took off again. Soon I saw a small desert island. There was a lake in the center of the desert island. Bang. The Wanli sunshine just happened to fall into the lake. Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, Enel, we went to fight, the others stayed on the ship. Luffy immediately gave the order. Okay, you should be careful. Nami nodded. There were a group of children and 3 dangerous people on the boat. The most important thing is that Bayou is still in the cabin and doesn't know what he is doing. He can only feel that the energy is getting stronger and stronger. Lieutenant General Peach Rabbit, the Straw Hats have landed on the desert island ahead. It seems that they don't want to escape. It's best to notify other fleets immediately. Daoto's eyes narrowed slightly, she must take back her famous sword this time. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 122. Something is not right. Bayou must have noticed our plan, otherwise he wouldn't have walked so fast, and now he has stopped again. Kizaru frowned after getting the news. In his opinion, Bayou is definitely a very smart person. How could he not see this kind of trap? Does Bayou have any trump cards that they don't know? Let's speed it up. Fujitora said as he reduced the gravity of the warship, and the huge warship flew out like a speedboat. Sengoku and Garp also got the news. Let's go, you will have to face the scene sooner or later. Warring stateside. Half of the Navy's elite are hunting down a few kids. Garp looks very bad. If they choose the path of pirates, they are no longer children. Warring States said. I know, let's go. Garp unclenched his fist and sighed. In fact, what I am most worried about is Zifa, he has gone crazy now. Warring States said. It's not a good thing you guys did, you actually invited that fool to be the Shichibukai. Garp said angrily. Don't you know how much the defeat of the war affected the Navy? It's not something caused by your old bastard's family. Sengoku was very angry. He was not willing to find that fool to be the Shichibukai. But there was no way. There were too few pirates who had the strength and were willing to be the Shichibukai. This has nothing to do with me. If you didn't publicly execute me in the first place, wouldn't you have nothing to worry about? Now you blame me for your failure. You just don't have grandchildren. If you have grandchildren, you won't be much better than me. Garp directly criticized, you didn't have any grandchildren in Niobe during the Warring States period. Old bastard. Do you want to fight? Warring States was immediately angry. His godson was dead, let alone his grandson. He definitely didn't have one. When Garp said about his grandson, it was just adding salt to his wounds. Okay, whoever is afraid, the loser takes out 10 bags of senbei. Garp is not afraid at all. The two of them have been fighting since childhood. He has never been afraid of the Warring States period. You were waiting for this to be over. Zhangguo gritted his teeth angrily, turned around and walked out of the cabin. The smile on Garp's face also disappeared, replaced by a face full of worry. He witnessed his child being sent to the execution platform to await execution. This kind of thing once is enough, if one time, he was really afraid that he wouldn't be able to bear it. At that time, Zifa had already arrived at the desert island where the Straw Hats landed. Without any hesitation, he led people to land directly, preparing to catch the Straw Hats before the Navy took action. Momoto watched from the side and did not stop him. If the Straw Hats were really easy to catch, they wouldn't go to such trouble. Teacher Zifa is very strong, but if he wants to catch the Straw Hats alone, that is absolutely impossible. Against an elite group like the Straw Hats, no matter how many people there are, it will be of no use. Two groups of navies join forces. Sanji frowned when he saw the new navy rushing over. No matter if they join forces or not, just blow them all away. After Luffy finished speaking, he rushed over. Bang! He punched Zifa's sea stone arm. Sea floor stone. Luffy immediately retracted his fist. Monkey D. Luffy, you and your grandfather really look alike. When Zifa saw Luffy's face, he immediately thought of Garp. Do you know my grandfather? Luffy was very surprised. He found that his grandfather's circle of friends was a bit wide. That's in the past now, kid, I won't show mercy to you just because of your grandfather. Zifa's voice fell and disappeared in place. Second gear. Bang. Two fists, one big and one small, collided together. Luffy was directly knocked out. How dare you be called emperor with your little strength? Zifa frowned. The sixth Jingman. Open. Boom. A powerful force burst out, and Luffy disappeared on the spot. Bang. Zifa was knocked away. He wiped the corners of his mouth and said, what a fast speed. What a powerful force. Bang. Luffy appeared again and gave Zifa a beating. Bang. Zifa's sea stone machine grabbed Luffy's wrist. Open. Luffy wanted to free his hand. I will let you go after I execute you. Zifa said and took out a sea tower stone chain. Click. A bolt of thunder directly submerged Zifa and Luffy. Hee, saved. Luffy chuckled. He's made of rubber and doesn't conduct electricity, so it's okay for Enel to just strike him with lightning. Natural thunder fruit. It's really troublesome. After Zifa's words fell, the ground began to crack. Then he used the mechanical arm to fire artillery bombardments. Boom boom boom, the power of the artillery shells was very strong, and it covered a wide range. Useless. Back to you. Luffy directly bounced the cannonball back. But Zifa continued to attack. Luffy quickly rushed towards Zifa, completely ignoring Zifa's bombardment. Zifa suddenly took out a gun. Luffy. Careful. Enel shouted quickly. Lush, luxuriant. Benz immediately attacked an arrow. Poof. Luffy was shot in the shoulder. Sea stone bullets are specially prepared to deal with ability users like you. Zifa put away the gun. Back up. The peach-colored flames in An's hand entered Luffy's body. Luffy's body shrank rapidly. He became what he was when he was 5 years old. Then he was directly used by Zifa using the sea tower stone chain locked. Luffy. Zoro roared angrily and rushed over. Careful. That woman is a capable person. Don't let him touch you. Annalise shouted quickly. Dang. The swordsman who defeated Hawkeye. I don't think so. Zifa blocked Sauron's knife with his mechanical arm. The new navy is nothing more than that. Zorro's armed haki wrapped around the sword and continued to attack. Sanji saw the right moment and took action immediately, preparing to save Luffy. And took out the sword and blocked it in front of Sanji. I won't attack a lady, please get out of my way. Sanji said. Sanji, help me. Little Luffy shouted quickly. Nu. Fool. Sanji immediately launched his shave to avoid N and hit Luffy up. Back up. N's hand touched Sanji. Sanji, who was holding Luffy, also quickly turned into a child. He was just bigger than Luffy. A little. Stupid chef. Zoro looked at Sanji being turned into a child and cursed angrily. Bang. Zifa seized the opportunity and punched Zoro. On the other side, Usopp didn't participate in the battle at all, hiding behind a boulder. There is a person here. The soldiers of the new navy shouted. Don't shout. Usopp was shocked. Are you Usopp from the Straw Hats? Yan Chuangying? I think it's a frightened bird. It turns out that the Straw Hats are nothing more than this, and they still have double eagles. Why don't you fly? When several soldiers saw Usopp's scared look, they burst out laughing. Do you believe your eyes? Usopp stood up, his eyes becoming cold and ruthless. Aren't you scared out of your wits? Stop talking nonsense, arrest him and talk. I originally thought he was a person, but I didn't expect him to be a waste. The soldiers didn't notice the change in Usopp's eyes at all. Eyes can be deceiving. After Usopp finished speaking, he grabbed the gun of one of the soldiers. Poof. The barrel of the gun penetrated directly from the chin into the back of the head. I didn't kill him, I just helped him put the barrel of the gun into his brain. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 123. Devil. Devil. Monster. Run. Help. Help. The soldiers of the new navy seemed to be going crazy. They seemed to have seen something extremely terrifying. Come, tell me a story, and maybe I'll let you go. Usopp held a gun to a soldier's head. The soldier was so frightened that he wet his pants and knelt on the ground. Hey! Bang! One shot to the head. Shizuo, go deal with that sniper. Zifa shouted. He only has these soldiers now. If they continue to be massacred, the losses will be huge. The cannon in Shizuo's mouth went straight to Usopp. Finally came one that was pretty good. Usopp smiled, and the gun in his hand was replaced by his own modified gun. Bang bang bang. 3 shots in a row. Iron. Shiu. Zo shouted confidently. The bullet hit him and fell to the ground. But at the same time, the electric current carried by the bullet also entered his body. Shiuzo immediately felt a little paralyzed in his body. Bang bang bang. 3 more shots. Not good. Shiuzo was shocked. The cannon in his hand turned into an alpaca. Bang. Fired a cannonball and blocked 3 bullets. Phew. Shiuzo's body recovered, he breathed a long sigh of relief, and touched the side of his body. Alpaca. Almost killed. Shave. Even though the sniper is powerful, he is afraid of close quarters. His strength is also close quarters. 10-finger gun. Shizuo's 10 fingers went straight to Usopp's heart. I also know how to close up, which is pretty good, but unfortunately I'm not an ordinary sniper. Usopp put away a gun and pulled out the knife from his waist. He stabbed him casually. Poof. Shizuo's stomach was scratched with a bloody mark. Not bad, he hit very quickly. Usopp sighed in admiration, and kicked out, just hitting Shizuo's wound. Asshole! Shiuzo covered his stomach, roared and attacked again. The strength is still good, but the person is a bit stupid. Usopp fired again. But this time he wrapped around the armed haki. Shizuo immediately raised his arm to block. Bang! Although the bullet did not penetrate the arm, it also broke his armed haki. You can be domineering. Shiuzo's eyes widened, and his entire arm was paralyzed. It seems that you are not a little stupid, but extremely stupid. There is no hope for people like you, so you might as well die. Usopp appeared in front of Shizuo instantly, and the long knife pierced Shizuo's neck. You! Shiuzo's eyes widened and he fell to the ground. Shiuzo! And Benz roared. It's over. Enilu raised his arm. 100 million volts Thunderbird. Zzz. Benz fell to the ground with smoke all over his body. Asshole! Zephyr roared angrily, his mechanical arm exploded, and punched Zoro away. Then he went straight to Enel. Enel smiled, this was what he wanted. Otherwise, they would not be able to kill Luffy and Shan. Ji rescued him. Zoro looked at Ayin and rushed over instantly. Ayin quickly shot Zoro. The secret of 3 sword styles, green dragon seal flowing water. Zoro seemed to turn into a dragon at this moment. But the moment he struck En, he turned the knife over and used the back of the knife to slash at En. Plop! And fell to the ground. Luffy and Sanji were both quickly returned to normal. Green algae head. You are so cruel to ladies. Sanji roared angrily. He, untie him quickly, I want to beat him away. Luffy grinned and looked at Zephyr who was attacking Enel. Zoro looked at Sanji angrily, then you can untie it yourself. After saying that, he untied Luffy, kicked Sanji away, and fell next to Usopp. Sanji, what are you doing? Practice a new skill. Usopp said questioning words with a cold face. Seeing Usopp in this state, Sanji also broke out in cold sweat and got goosebumps all over his body. Usopp, please help me untie it. Sanji said quickly. No one dares to mess with Usopp in this state. He is simply a god of death. I am Yanchuanging. Usopp was very dissatisfied. Okay, Yanchuanging, please help me unlock it. The key is on the ground. Sanji said quickly. Can. Usopp said, picking up the key that Zoro threw over and opening the chain. Quick! Attack them now. The soldiers of the new navy immediately attacked the 2 men. Fired a volley of guns and cannons. Why does everyone think they can kill me? Usopp looked around indifferently, and fired rapidly at the surroundings with the gun in his hand. Boom! The shells exploded. Dust and smoke flew everywhere. Ah! Help! A burst of screams sounded. This madman! Sanji complained and left this place of right and wrong. Enelu, leave this guy to me. Luffy roared and came to Zephyr. Shocking door. Open. The 2 of them fought together instantly. Luffy who opened the 7 doors was very terrifying in terms of strength and speed. And Zephyr is indeed old. In addition, all 3 of his right-hand assistants fell down, which also caused his old illness to relapse. Within a few moments, he started to gasp. Day Tiger. Luffy saw the right moment and launched his ultimate move. The shockwave directly hit Zephyr. Bang! Zephyr's sea stone mechanical arm also shattered under the strong impact and fell down. I didn't expect that I would lose to a few young kids. Ahem, please kill me. Zephyr fell to the ground and looked at Luffy and Zoro. I'm not a kid, I'm a man who wants to become the Pirate King. Luffy immediately retorted. One Piece? Zephyr smiled and closed his eyes, let's do it. Let's go. Luffy said to a few people and left directly. Ahem, why don't you kill me? Zifa struggled to stand up. Why should I kill you? Luffy turned around and said something, then turned around and walked back with a few people. The Navy Admiral is here. Enilu said. It turns out that these new navies are all decoys. Sanji lit a cigarette aside. It seems that we have been plotted by the Navy since we entered the New World. Eniru frowned. The Navy's ability to mobilize so many warships was obviously planned in advance. Kizaru and Fujitora came over with 6 lieutenant generals behind them. Would ordinary soldiers participate in such a battle? Any use? It will only increase the number of casualties. Uncle. Why is it you again? I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 124. Kizaru heard the word uncle. His face suddenly turned ugly. The lieutenant generals behind him also had strange expressions. I want to laugh but I dare not, so I can only hold it in. Kizaru, I never thought you were related to a dragon. No wonder we never get along. Zifa added another blow. Teacher Zifa, you are really old, and you were defeated by a few children. Kizaru immediately shouted back. Haha, don't think that I don't know what your plans are. If you really could deal with these guys, you wouldn't be in this situation today. The Navy's face has been completely embarrassed by you. Zifa thought that the mighty Navy would be defeated by pirates, and even the Navy headquarters was destroyed. Now you have the nerve to laugh at him. Teacher Zifa, you can leave. According to the agreement, we will not attack you this time, but please don't hinder us, otherwise your new Navy will be gone. Kizaru doesn't want to talk to Zifa anymore. Anyway, the two of them have never gotten along. New Navy, retreat. Zifa shouted, then looked at Luffy and the others. Straw Hat Luffy, we will meet again. After saying that, he turned around and left with the injured disciple. Okay, Straw Hat Luffy, you can't run away this time. Kizaru swore in his heart that he would catch Luffy even if others couldn't. Otherwise, his suspicion of being an undercover agent would be confirmed. Give me the blind swordsman with the sword. Zoro could feel Fujitora's strength, and his fighting spirit rose. Leave Kizaru to me, just so I can try out new moves. Enilu looked at Kizaru. He didn't stop Kizaru just now, which made him very depressed. This is not a one-on-one duel. Kizaru jumped up instantly, and a dazzling golden light erupted from his body. Everyone immediately closed their eyes. Fujitora drew his sword and slashed towards the sky. God's punishment. Boom. A bolt of thunder from Eniru struck Kizaru's body. The golden light disappeared, and everyone watched. A huge meteorite appeared in the sky. The meteorite was bigger than this small island. Zoro's 3 swords were wrapped with armed domineering energy. The ghost energy of the 9-sword style Azura. The meteorite instantly shattered into countless small pieces and scattered around. Are you Roronoa Zoro, the swordsman who defeated Hawkeye? Asked Fujitora. Yes, it looks like you are the new admiral. Zoro narrowed his eyes slightly. He is a powerful swordsman and a terrifying ability user. With the addition of Kizaru and so many lieutenant generals, it is really troublesome this time. There was a melee here. In a short time it's hard to tell the winner. On the other side, a dog-headed warship docked on the shore. 2 old guys, Garp and Sengoku, came ashore. The main force has been attracted, so you don't need to do anything later. Warring States said. Then you can do it yourself. If you are exhausted, don't blame me for not helping you. Garp was also happy to watch the excitement. The main force of the Straw Hat Gang was restrained to the other side, but these people on the ship were not easy to mess with. Trouble is coming. Jinbei frowned. He saw Garp and Sengoku. In order to catch us, the Navy actually dispatched so many top combat forces. Robin's eyes narrowed slightly. Counting Zifa who just left, plus the 4 generals currently on the battlefield, 5 generals have been used. It's really crazy. It is estimated that the other 4 emperors, none of them have this kind of treatment. This can be regarded as our welcome ceremony into the new world. Jinbei smiled, I will deal with Sengoku. My water escape has a certain restraint effect on ability users. I will leave Garp to you. Let me do it. Chopper suddenly said. Chopper. Viv, Robin, and Nami looked at Chopper in surprise. Chopper has always been very timid, and is no different from Usopp in a normal state. I want to fight. Chopper said and immediately turned into a human form. Well, be careful yourself and don't be brave if you can't, there are still us. Nami saw that Chopper was so serious for the first time, so she couldn't stop him. Come on Chopper. Wei immediately cheered Chopper up. It's rare to have such a strong fighting spirit. Could it be because of the reward? Robin said with a smile. Only then did the others remember that Chopper's reward was only 100 UN. Bad Robin. Chopper blushed and jumped off the boat. Jinbei immediately followed. Brooke and Frankie are ready to meet the 2 of them. These 2 are not ordinary generals. Nami said with a serious expression. Garp, the hero of the Navy, the legendary Navy, the man who once chased the Pirate King all over the world, when he was eyeing the war, Blackbeard, who had obtained 2 devil fruits, was beaten to pieces. There is no way to fight back. Not to mention the Warring States period, the legendary Navy like Garp, Buddha's Warring States period, and former Navy Marshal, needless to say, are powerful. If they want to defeat these 2 guys, they really don't have much hope. We can only hope that Baiyu will come out soon, or that Luffy and the others will end the battle quickly. At this time, Eniru also discovered the situation here. He wanted to come back to support, but was entangled by Kizaru and could not leave at all. Others, because of Fujitora's gravity fruit, people were also caught in a bitter battle, and it was impossible to tell the winner for a while. Baiyu didn't move at all in the cabin, and even the breath of life was vague. Nami and the others were also. I didn't dare to enter and disturb him, for fear that something would happen to Baiyu. Jinbei, you don't think that because you joined the Straw Hats, you have the strength to fight me, do you? Sengoku looked at Jinbei. Then you have to fight to find out. Jinbei didn't dare to be careless. Although his water release can restrain those with abilities, it depends on who he is. Sengoku didn't use the fruit ability. He rushed directly in front of Jinbei and raised his hand to punch. Same Washokan. Jinbei use all your strength to resist this punch. Boom. With 1 or 2 people at the center, the ground collapsed instantly. Powerful waves spread to all directions. Mr. Garp, I will be your opponent. Shoppa came over, his tone was still very polite. Who are you? Garp was stunned for a moment, not recognizing the enlarged Chopper at all. I'm Chopper. Ship Dr. Chopper. Chopper was very angry, and the consequences were serious. He disappeared in an instant and appeared in front of Garp. His wrist strength was strengthened. His arms were suddenly strong. Keihu Sakura. Garp's arms were wrapped with armed domineering, crossed in front of him, blocking Chopper's stroke. But he also took several steps back. What a powerful force! Garp was also a little frightened. Sure enough, his grandson's pirate group didn't have a simple one. I won't show mercy. After Garp's words fell, he punched Chopper with his armed and domineering fist. The fur was strengthened. Bang! Garp punched the fur. The leg strength was strengthened. Chopper rushed out instantly, very fast. But Chopper Tomo didn't attack. The jump was strengthened. Chopper jumped directly into the sky. The monster was strengthened. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 125. Monster Strengthening. Chopper's body quickly grew in size in the air. Like a giant. A huge fist fell from the sky. Boom. The ground cracked. Roar. Chopper roared angrily and attacked Garp again. Cold sweat also broke out on Garp's forehead, and he hurriedly avoided. What it is? Warring States was also shocked. Water escape, water rush wave. Jinbei immediately launched an attack. He didn't dare to be careless when facing Sengoku. Sengoku quickly evaded. Originally, he thought he could catch the Straw Hats this time. The water controlled by Jinbei was already very tricky, and now another one appeared. Monster! This made him very depressed. Others were also frightened by Chopper. Especially the Straw Hats. They all saw Chopper's real battle for the first time. They didn't expect that he would directly transform into such a monster. A huge monster. I can only take it seriously. Garp's fists were wrapped with domineering force, raised high, and punched Chopper in the stomach. Chopper's huge body took 2 steps back, and after standing firm, the huge fist went straight to Garp. Bang! Garp he was directly knocked out and landed next to Warring States. You deal with Jinbei, and I'll deal with this monster. After Sengoku finished speaking, he rushed directly to Chopper without waiting for Caputong to agree. You old bastard! Water release water dragon bullet technique. Jinbei doesn't care who his opponent is, he just launches an attack. No wonder Warring States didn't fight you. Baiyu taught you your strange ability to control water, right? Garp immediately understood why Sengoku didn't fight Jinbei. No one with abilities is willing to fight someone who can control water. Mr. Garp, even if you are Luffy and Ace's grandfather, I will not show mercy. Jinbei said very seriously. Kid, it's too early for you to show mercy to me. After Garp's words fell, he rushed directly towards Jinbei. Water release hard vortex water blade. A javelin made of water appeared in Jinbei's hand, and he projected it with great force. Garp punched out with a fist wrapped around Haki. There was no contact yet. When you reach the water javelin will be defeated immediately. Bone fist. Garp punched Jinbei. Bang. Jinbei turned into a pile of water. Water escape water prison technique. Jinbei appeared next to Garp and wrapped Garp in a huge water ball. Iron fist. Boom. The water ball burst. Jinbei quickly stepped aside. Fortunately, I am not an Esper, otherwise I would really be killed by you. Garp's face also began to become solemn. Mr. Garp's strength is also terrifying. If he had punched me just now, I might not be able to stand up. Jinbei didn't dare to be careless. Garp was too strong. Moreover, his use of Haki was top-notch. His water escape could hardly cause damage to Garp. After Sengoku rushed to Chopper, he immediately activated his fruit ability. In the form of a giant Buddha. Boom! The golden palm collided with Chopper's fist with a shock wave. The two of them retreated. Not domineering. But it can hurt the body. Sengoku felt that his whole arm was numb and he couldn't exert any strength. And Chopper was not feeling well either. Even if he recovered his palm immortal technique, his arm was injured. Without Haki, he would be fighting against a strong man like Sengoku. Still too reluctant. Roar. Chopper roared angrily, and a green light appeared on his hands, which was the power of palm immortal technique. He punched Sengoku again. Sengoku also punched to meet him. Just when the two fists were about to touch each other. At the time, Chopper's fist turned into a palm. Boom! A powerful shockwave hit the palm. Roar! Chopper roared again and grabbed Sengoku's golden fist. The power of palm immortal technique instantly entered Sengoku's body. Sengoku immediately he felt his body begin to become paralyzed. He quickly used his own ability to force this strange force out of his body. Of course, Chopper would not give Sengoku a chance. This was his last blow. The huge fist hit Sengoku's body like a mountain. Up. Bang. Sengoku was directly knocked out. And Chopper's body shrank quickly and he lost consciousness. Jinbei quickly ran over and picked up Chopper in his arms. Garp did not stop Jinbei, he also wanted to save him. Sengoku. Jinbei sent Chopper back to the ship. Mary immediately used the return path to treat Chopper. Garp fished Sengoku out of the sea. Sprites are really troublesome. Ahem. Warring States spit out the sea water in his mouth. Do you want to continue? Garp had a weird look in his eyes. Without him, the Warring States period might have been a miserable one. The two of them have been catching pirates on the sea for decades. Even when they faced Roger and Lox, they didn't let them do this. Passive. It seems that they are really old. I was just careless. I didn't expect that monster to have such weird power. Sengoku stopped mid-sentence. Because he found that his arm had no feeling at all, as if it was not his arm. What's wrong? Garp asked quickly. I have no feeling in my right hand, as if it had been severed. Warring States' eyes were also a little panicked. With his recovery ability, not to mention such ordinary injuries, as long as they are not directly fatal, he can recover. But now his arm shows no sign of recovery. If he hadn't seen that the arm is still longer, on his body, he thought it was gone. It should be the method of that monster. Garp knew that anyone related to Baiyu and the Straw Hats were definitely not simple. Fortunately, he and Sengoku exchanged opponents, otherwise he would be the disabled one now. The battle on the other side has entered a fever pitch. Kizaru is good at speed, but Fujitora can control gravity. The cooperation of these two generals makes Luffy and Zoro very uncomfortable. There are also several lieutenant generals who are harassing and attacking. We can't drag it out any longer. I'll take care of all the lieutenant generals, and the rest depends on you. Zoran was a little anxious. He always had a bad premonition in his heart. As soon as he finished speaking, he activated Yudashira. The terrifying power was released on Sauron's body. Stop him quickly. Lieutenant General, retreat quickly. Kizaru shouted loudly. But it was already too late. The secret of 3 sword styles, 3,000 worlds. Zoro instantly rushed towards the 6 lieutenant generals around him. Poof, all 6 lieutenant generals fell to the ground. Zoro then looked at Fujitora, who still had the power for the final blow. He put away the sword, only holding the word Wado in the hand. Holding the handle of the sword with both hands, the muscles of both arms bulged. The sword was slashed from above. The secret of Ichido style, Dan. A huge pure white slash appeared on the vine in the blink of an eye. In front of Tora. Fujitora quickly raised his sword to resist. Dang. Gravity knife flying tiger. Boom. Gravity shot up into the sky, sending the slash flying into the sky. The clouds in the sky were cut open. And Zoro also entered a weak state. Kizaru's laser light immediately aimed at Zoro. How could you possibly succeed? Eniru's lightning immediately hit Kizaru, interrupting the attack. Luffy immediately brought Zoro back to him. I'll leave the rest to you, I'll take a nap first. After Zoro finished speaking, he closed his eyes and fell asleep. You take Zoro away first. Luffy's eyes were extremely cold, and he put his thumb on his heart, preparing to activate the 8-door armor formation. There is no need to go all out to deal with them, leave it to me. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 126. There is no need to go all out to deal with them, leave it to me. When the Straw Hat pirates heard Bayu's voice, their eyes suddenly lit up. Bayou is the backbone of the Straw Hat Pirates. In everyone's hearts, as long as Bayou is around, there is nothing that cannot be solved. It's that bastard again. When Huang Yuan heard Bayou's voice, he felt very angry. Don't be such a jerk, I didn't do anything to you. Bayou's figure suddenly appeared next to Kizaru. You. Kizaru was startled, he didn't notice any aura at all. It seems to be the same now. Even if Bayou appears in front of him, he can't detect any breath. In fact, I have no interest in you. As long as your navy doesn't take the initiative to provoke me, I won't bother to talk to you. I will go back and tell Wulaoxing not to provoke me, and everyone will be safe. Bye. Yu's face turned cold. If you make me anxious, the Holy Land will turn into hell. Are you going to openly confront the world government? Kizaru frowned. 5 old stars will not be threatened by anyone. Then give it a try. Why do you still want to fight me? Bayou's eyes were very calm, without any disturbance. Forget it, I will report your words to Wulaoxing, and you will have to bear the consequences yourself. Kizaru sighed. Bayou now felt too dangerous to him. Just like when he tortured and killed Akainu during the war on the top. He felt that if he did it, he might die. You don't have to worry about it anymore, I won't send you goodbye. Said Yu, turned around and left without even looking at Kizaru and Fujitora. Several other people glanced at Fujitora and Kizaru, and then followed Bayou. Kizaru and Fujitora looked at each other, no say anything, just turn around and leave. Mr. Garp, you haven't left yet? Bye. You looked at Garp and said with a smile. Although he was in the cabin just now, he knew everything about what happened outside. You are really getting more and more terrifying. Garp said very seriously. He thought that a few months ago, Bayou was a person who didn't even know how to be domineering. Now he dared to directly confront the world government. It was all taught well by the old man. If you hadn't taught us domineering back then, we would have all been wiped out by your group now. After hearing Bayou's words, Garp's face was very ugly. Warring States on the side also looked at Garp bitterly, and he knew that this old bastard was responsible for everything. Bayou, even if you are strong now, it is still not enough to fight against the world government. You are asking for your own destruction. Warring States said from the side. Isn't it a good feeling to have a broken arm? Bayou suddenly appeared in front of Warring States and grabbed Warring States' arm. Bayou. Garp shouted quickly. Don't worry, I'm just helping our former Navy Marshal. Bayou smiled and let go of Zhangguo's arm. You. Just as Zhangguo spoke, he found that his arm had recovered. You two are retired, and you have nothing to do to go fishing. It would be great to go to Happy Street, so don't get involved in these messy things. Bye. You shook his head. The children on the ship are all experimental subjects of the world government. You can take them away and send them back to their hometowns. Nami and the others took the children off the boat. The children were still a little scared when they saw Garp and Sengoku. Go ahead, they are good Marines and will take you home. Nami said softly. Thank you, brothers and sisters. We want to become pirates when we grow up. Well, I want to become a big hero like my brothers and sisters. Goodbye, brothers and sisters. Although these children are huge, they are actually a group of simple-minded children. When Garp looked at what these children said, he also thought of what Luffy said when he was a child, and his eyes when looking at these children were a little complicated. Where did you find these children? Warring States looked at these giant babies in surprise. There are some things that I don't need to explain too clearly. I have already left a fig leaf for you in front of these children. After Bayou said that, he turned around and returned to the pirate ship. If it weren't for Garp, he wouldn't have bothered to talk so much nonsense to Sengoku. Let's go, kids. Grandpa will take you home. Garp glanced at Sengoku. he was too aware of the dark side of the world government. That's why he has never been a general in these years. Holy Land, Marie Joya. Wulaoxing conference room. Qingji stood there and reported the situation. After hearing this, the 5 old men all looked solemn. You can go back. The Navy has done a good job recently and will restore its strength as soon as possible. The 5 old stars with long beards said. Yes. Qing Pheasant nodded in response, then turned around and left. After Qing Pheasant left, Wulao Xing, who was holding the knife, said, how about I take action to deal with that Baiyu? Have you forgotten the rules set by Im Sama? The bald 5 old star said coldly. Since he said so, we will observe it for a while. If there is any abnormality, it will not be too late for us to report to Lord Im, said the curly-haired 5 old star. Yes, what needs to be solved now is the problem of the Revolutionary Army. The 5 old stars with long beards said. That guy is useless. Since the dragon wants to exchange, let's exchange with him. This way we can still find their hiding place, and then we can catch them all. The blonde 5 old stars said. The 5 old men looked at each other and nodded in agreement. Wano country, Ghost Island. Doflamingo. Do you want to die? Kaido said coldly to the phone bug. I don't want to die, but Lord Kaido, you should also know the strength of that Baiyu. With just my abilities, I am no match for him. Doflamingo's voice came from the phone bug's mouth. I will let the 3 disasters go over to support you. You should know what to do, right? Kaido said. Thanks to Lord Kaido for trusting me, I know what to do. There will definitely be no problems with the artificial devil fruit factory. Doflamingo immediately promised. Kaido hung up the phone directly. Yin, you 3 go to Dressrosa. Yes. 3 disasters immediately took command. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 127. Amazing. Luffy's eyes lit up when he saw his walking and talking toy. Amazing indeed. Frankie grabbed a toy and looked at it curiously, as if he was ready to take it apart and take a look. Stop making trouble, this is a human condition. Baiyu didn't hide anything and said directly. People change. How can this be? It should be easy for people to die if they become toys, right? Robin. Do not speak. Several people were frightened. They thought it was quite fun at first. After all, they had never seen a toy that could walk and talk on its own. But when Baiyu said this, everyone felt horrified. Baiyu, what on earth is going on? Nami asked from the side. The situation was similar to the Wei family at that time, except that the people here were smarter than Crocodile and successfully seized power and became the king. These toys are basically those transformed by rebels. People who are turned into toys will disappear from this world, and everyone who knows them will forget their existence. That's why this country is like this. Some people have no idea that their relatives have become toys. Baiyu explained briefly. Doflamingo is indeed smarter than Crocodile. After all, they both want to seize power. Crocodile has been planning for so many years, but it has not yet succeeded. Disappear from the world? What a terrifying ability. Wei was very frightened. Fortunately, she met Baiyu and the Straw Hats. Otherwise, her kingdom might be the same as here. Even under Crocodile's brutal rule, it would be worse than here. The king of this country is one of the current Shishibukai, Doflamingo, right? Robin said from the side. Good. Baiyu nodded. Baiyu, what kind of person was the original king of this country? Wei asked. The original king was from the Riku clan, a very wise king, and very loved by the people, but it was precisely because of this that Doflamingo took advantage of him. Baiyu sighed. King Liku is indeed a good king. But in the face of strong strength, Everything is so fragile. In this world, the strong are respected. If you are strong, you can have everything. Bayou, can we help them? Wei felt the same and looked at Bayou pleadingly. We are pirates, not heroes. There are too many unfair things in this world. Do you and we all have to take care of it? Bayou shook his head. Who rules here has nothing to do with him. Hero. He won't do it? Hey, he blew my bottom off as soon as he came. He was really not polite at all. Doflamingo came over with the family leaders. Do people like you still care about this? Bayou sneered. Welcome the Straw Hat Pirates to Dressrosa. Doflamingo bent down and saluted, very politely. He really didn't dare to confront the Straw Hat Pirates openly. Not to mention Bayou, none of the others were efficient. Therefore, if you want to deal with the Straw Hats, the pirates can only outsmart them. The best result is for Kaido to fight with the two of them, while he is a bystander. Everyone, the banquet is ready. Let's attend the banquet first and talk about the rest later. Monet said from the side. I want to eat meat. Luffy became happy when he heard about the banquet. The Straw Hat Gang came to the palace to attend the banquet. Enthusiastic beauties, delicious food, and mellow wine. Everyone had a great time. Even Bayou drank a lot of wine. The banquet lasted all day and night. Everyone had eaten, drank too much, and was tired from playing. They all fell into the banquet hall and fell asleep directly. Young master, this is too simple, let's do it directly. Diamante said quietly beside Doflamingo. Do you want to die? Shut up. Even if Doflamingo wants to take action against the Straw Hats, it's not now. If he takes action rashly, he will be the only one who dies. He doesn't believe that Bayou will be defenseless against him. Moreover, Bayou is even the general of Akainu. A terrifying existence that can kill everyone. These few of them are definitely not enough for Bayou to kill alone. The most important thing is that his purpose is to let the Straw Hats and Kaido fight, not for him to take action directly. In that case, no matter whether it is the Straw Hats or Kaido, whether the gang wins or Kaido wins, there will be no loss for him. The Straw Hats can agree to any conditions they have, even if they want the country, they will give it to him. Do you understand what I mean? Don't mess around, their strength is more terrifying than you think. Doflamingo gave a very serious warning. He was really afraid that his subordinates would attack the Straw Hats without permission. They don't have the strength to fight the Straw Hats yet. Even if they add the Beast's pirates, the same is true for the three plagues. Yes. Little Lord. Everyone immediately accepted the order. After the Don Quixote family left the banquet hall, Bayou, who was sleeping, sat up and said, "This guy is really smart. But he is also a restless guy. If you want to take advantage of him, be careful." Enilu also woke up. "Go to sleep, it's a day and a night." Bayou said and closed his eyes and started to sleep. Looking back at the time when he was fusing skills, he was a little scared and almost died. At that time, he just wanted to fuse one skill. But he didn't expect that all the skills would be used later. Swarmed in. The result is that all the skills are integrated together. He has not yet figured out the specific situation. However, what is certain is that his current strength has undergone a qualitative change. Every attack he makes is quite compared to the previous all-out blow. If it explodes completely, he has not tried it yet. The most important thing is that this is not the limit, Shura can still improve. Ding. Crewman Chopper fully masters the skill Palm Immortal technique. Exclusive skills are being generated. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 128. Bayou was stunned by the sudden sound. He hadn't heard the system's beep for a long time. And the moment the prompt sounded, he clearly felt that his strength had improved. When he saw Chopper's second skill, he was stunned for a moment. Baiyu, I seem to have become stronger. Kyoba came to Baiyu and said with a confused look on his face. You have completely mastered the skill of Palm Immortal Technique, and you must have become stronger. Baiyu smiled and touched Chopper's head. Really? Can I learn a second skill then? Chopper became energetic instantly and wasn't sleepy at all. Of course, I will leave it to you now, and you can give them a surprise when they wake up tomorrow. Bye. You said with a smile, and also taught Chopper new skills. Turtle-style Qigong, a unique skill from the Dragon Ball world. Due to different rules in the world, the skill effects are different. Please experience it yourself. That's right, it's the skill that can destroy the planet, Turtle-style Qigong. Of course, the power of Turtle-style Qigong is determined by the user. The stronger the user, the stronger the Turtle-style Qigong. It is probably impossible to reach the level of destroying planets. But as long as Chopper works hard, it is still possible to destroy an island with one blow. Baiyu. You are very nice. After Kyoba learned about the practice and use of Turtle-style Qigong, he immediately thanked him excitedly. Just like it, go to sleep. Baiyu smiled and closed his eyes. Because he found that the new skill Turtle-style Qigong he had just obtained was automatically merging with the Shura skill. Although the process was a bit slow, the two forces were indeed actively merging after everyone woke up the next day. Chopper couldn't wait to show everyone his new skills. Amazing. Chopper, you actually gained a second skill. Let's see what skills it is. Just don't turn into a monster. Robin. Ha ha ha, Chopper, let us see your new skills. Everyone laughed and looked at Chopper expectantly. Chopper's vanity was greatly satisfied. After all, he is the only one besides Zoro who has obtained the second skill. Since you want to see it so much, then I will let you experience my Turtle-style Qigong. Chopper was very proud. Then his two little hooves came together. Turtle Pai Qigong. The blue energy light ball continued to condense in his two hooves. Ha! Chopper pushed with both hands, and the blue energy light ball flew out. Boom! A big hole was blasted out of the wall of the banquet hall in an instant. Amazing! Chopper, you can actually shoot lasers. Luffy's eyes glowed with gold. Hee hee, even if you praise me, I won't be happy. Chopper twisted happily. What a powerful force. It's really strong, and it's a pure energy attack. It's definitely not painful when it hits you. Chopper has become stronger again. Hearing the compliments from several other people, Chopper was so happy that he almost fainted. Okay, the environment here is still very good. You can go around for a while. We will rest here for a few days and then set off. Baiyu said. If a few adults want to go out for some fun, I can be their guide. Violet walked in. Well, no one knows this place better than you. Baiyu smiled slightly. The Princess of Dressrosa serves as a guide, and the treatment is not bad, even though she is a former princess. Of course, Baiyu also understands Ovlet's purpose of approaching them. But he has no interest in this woman at all. If it was Rebecca, he was still a little interested. But after thinking about it, that little girl should be only 14 years old now. Let's forget it. The smile on Violet's face froze, but it soon returned to its natural state. With a smile, he said the busiest place in Dressrosa is the bullfighting arena. A large-scale competition is currently being held. The winner can get a devil fruit. Amazing. I want to participate in the competition. Luffy immediately raised his hands and shouted. Captain Lou is going to participate in the competition in person. Violet looked at Luffy in surprise. The 5 emperors of the New World, who offered a bounty of 2.5 billion belly, actually wanted to participate in the bullfighting arena in person? Why can't I participate? Luffy asked doubtfully. Sure, it's just who you are. Just let him go and assign him any identity. Bayou interrupted Violet's words. Hee, Bayou is still nice to me. Luffy immediately smiled. Okay, I'll make the arrangements right away. Does anyone else want to participate? Violet asked. Are there any experts participating in the competition? Zoro asked. There are also many great pirates with bounties worth over 100 million, as well as many powerful sword fighters participating in the competition. As for their strength, I'm not sure about it. They should be very strong, and the devil fruit this time is a rare animal-type fantasy beast. Many people came. Violet explained patiently. Phantom beast species? Doflamingo is really good. Bayou also became interested. Unexpectedly, there was a species of phantom beast. This thing is even rarer than the natural species. In this case, I will also participate. Zoro thought for a while and said. The championship is definitely mine. Sanji said. Lecherous chef, I have wanted to kill you for a long time. Saran said coldly. A third-rate swordsman. Sanji showed no sign of weakness. The championship is mine. Luffy shouted loudly. I also want to play, and I just want to practice water escape. Jinbei stood up and said. Cold sweat broke out on Violet's forehead. With all these people participating, this game was really lively. I hope the arena will not be demolished. Anyway, Doflamingo is also I said, I will agree to any request. Usopp, why don't you join in the fun? Bayou asked. I'll forget it. I'll go look elsewhere. I still have to purchase a lot of things, so I won't participate. How dare Usopp compete with these people for the championship? It's no different from seeking death. He doesn't want to be tortured by these monsters. Then let the four of them arrange a stand for us. Bayou said. Okay. Violet nodded and immediately turned and left. He wanted to tell Doflamingo the news. After all, it is not a trivial matter for the Straw Hats to participate in the arena competition. And what she didn't know was that the Beast's pirates, the three disasters, also signed up for the competition. The attraction of the Phantom Beast Devil Fruit is very great. Many big pirates in the New World are attracted to it. This gladiatorial match is definitely the most exciting one in the past. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 129. The bullfighting arena was very lively and packed with seats. Because the prize of this competition is a species of phantom beast that is rarer than the natural type. Although I don't know exactly what fruit it is. But what is certain is that any phantom beast species is very powerful. For example, Kaido's blue dragon fruit, Marco's phoenix fruit, Kyuten Orikai's Yamato no Orikai, and Sengoku's great Buddha fruit. Any fruit is very powerful. Of course, that loser, Black Tan Orikai, has not developed the abilities of Yamada Orikai at all. But this does not affect the position of the Phantom Beast in everyone's mind. And it is said that the Phantom Beast species this time is still a very rare bird and fruit Phantom Beast species. The Fantasy Beast species with the ability to fly is undoubtedly a life-saving ability. After all, nothing is more important than life. Doflamingo is so generous, even taking out such a good devil fruit. So what if you take it out? Whether you can get it or not is another matter. I think it's mostly a gimmick, how rare the Phantom Beast species are, and the bird fruit. Probably not. Doflamingo is also a Shichibukai and the king of a country. He wouldn't do such a thing, right? Regardless of whether it is true or not, there are many big pirates with bounties of over 100 million coming this time. There are not many opportunities to fight like this. The pirates talked a lot, some believed it, some didn't. Welcome to the Dressrosa bullfighting arena. On the big screen of Diamante's arena, the sound spread throughout the arena. Many people question whether we will really produce the devil fruit of the bird fruit phantom beast type. Now I will let everyone take a look and see if it is true. Diamante said as he took out a pear-shaped red devil fruit. Bird fruit phantom beast species Suzaku form. After the words fell, the whole place was in an uproar. What? It's the legendary bird Suzaku. How can this be? If you get this fruit, you can hope to become the pirate king. This devil fruit is mine. No one can compete with me. Dream. I want to order this fruit. The battle hasn't even started yet, and the contestants who signed up almost took action. But when they thought that this was Doflamingo's territory, they immediately calmed down. The three plagues of the beast's pirates looked at Diamante's hand. Devil fruit. The three of them really wanted to grab the fruit now. But thinking about this mission, they were still prepared to win the Suzaku fruit through the competition. Is Suzaku powerful? Luffy looked confused. Nonsense, of course it's very powerful, that's the legendary divine bird, and it's the same level of superpower as Kaido's blue dragon fruit. Sanji said angrily. Any kind of fantasy beast devil fruit will have superpowers, just like Kaido's blue dragon fruit, which can fly even though it has no wings. Although we don't know what kind of superpowers the Suzaku fruit will have, the legendary Suzaku is the divine bird that controls the world's flames, and its abilities are definitely not weak. Jinbei has much more knowledge than Luffy and the others. Therefore, he understands the value of this devil fruit better. Since Doflamingo took out such a devil fruit, he definitely had a purpose. It's getting more and more interesting, and I hope to meet more powerful people. Zoro's fighting spirit rises. He has no interest in devil fruits or anything else. The only thing he is interested in now is a master of swordsmanship. Don't wait to be defeated, it will be embarrassing then. Sanji mocked from the side. I'll kill you later. Sauron gritted his teeth and said. Don't be careless, this game is not easy. Jinbei reminded the three of them seriously. Okay, now let's invite those who signed up to come and draw lots. Everyone is divided into 4 groups, and only one person from each group can participate in the finals. In the end, these 4 will decide the final champion. Diamante said and asked everyone to start drawing lots. Luffy was assigned to Group A. Jinbei, Sanji, and Zoro were all assigned to the same group. Lecherous chef, are you ready to be chopped down by me? Zoro was very happy, he could finally take care of this lecherous chef. Don't cry if you get kicked away. Sanji also smiled and directly accepted the challenge. Jinbei was speechless when he saw the 2 bickering people. But the 3 people from the 3 disasters were assigned to 3 different groups. Of course, this was all planned by Doflamingo. He had known for a long time that the Straw Hats would definitely participate in this competition. Therefore, he specially arranged for the 3 disasters to be in 3 groups. Then the 3 of them could deal with one member of the Straw Hats. Even Straw Hat Luffy would face the 3 disasters. A joint attack won't be much better. If you're lucky, you might be able to kill Straw Hat Luffy. Then the Straw Hat Pirates will have a war with Kaido. And he will be the biggest beneficiary of this war. Bayou sees after receiving the results of the lottery, a smile appeared on his face. How could he not see Doflamingo's little thoughts? However, he didn't care. In the face of absolute strength, any conspiracy and trick were just paper tigers. What worries Bayou the most is a blonde boy. Because the weapon in this blonde boy's hand is a water pipe. Doesn't this bastard Long want to use this devil fruit to pay for it? Bayou suddenly thought in his heart. The game is about to start, please see the 3 players in Group D go down to prepare. All players in Group A please gather in the ring. Diamante's voice sounded again, the elimination round is a melee mode. The last person standing in the ring is the final winner. It turned out to be a melee. This is too messy. But I like it. There are at least 100 people in this group. Killing more than 100 people is not an easy task. This is exciting. Kill it. Only the strong can survive to the end. This is the real battle. Let's fight. The audience was very excited. Because there is nothing more exciting and bloody than a big melee. The ugliness of human nature was exposed at this moment. The battle begins. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 130. The battle begins. Hundreds of people started fighting immediately. The scene was very chaotic. Many people did not survive for even a second before being killed by their opponents. This is the bullfighting arena, there are no rules. The only rule is that the winner is the winner. King. You can use any method here. As long as you can kill your opponent and win. The more people die, the more excited the audience becomes. But Luffy hasn't reacted yet and is completely unaware of the situation. Go to hell. Suddenly a man attacked Luffy. Never. Luffy kicked this person away. The person who just wanted to attack Luffy paused for an instant. He decisively changed his attack. What is this? Not fun at all. Luffy immediately lost interest. He just wanted to find a strong person to fight against. But there is no one strong here. You look familiar. Keep Man walked towards Luffy. Now Luffy has been disguised and used a fake name. People who are not familiar with him really can't recognize him. Of course, if Luffy uses the rubber fruit, he will definitely be discovered. But in order for Luffy to practice, he was given a sea tower stone to wear around his neck. In this way, even if Luffy wanted to use the fruit ability, he would not be able to use it. It was also considered a kind of training. You look very strong, let's have a fight. Luffy saw that no one dared to take action against Capemon, and he also had some fighting spirit. Then let me see who you really are. After Capemon finished speaking, he appeared in front of Luffy, ready to take off the disguise on his face. After all, this is not a bright battle, and many people disguise their identities for the sake of face. This is also normal. Just like Capemon, his identity is Vice Admiral of the Navy headquarters. This cannot be discovered by you. Luffy raised his arms to resist Capemon's attack, and at the same time raised his feet to sweep out to counter-attack. Iron block. Dang. Capemon blocked Luffy's kick, clenched his right fist, and wrapped his arms with domineering force. Punch out. Luffy also punched out. Bang. Both fists collided. So powerful and domineering. Keep Man immediately noticed the power of Luffy's domineering force and was shocked. But the movements of his hands were not slow at all. Crazy fast attacks. Internal destruction. It's wrong to pass through the surface of an object and cause damage to the interior. Luffy kept thinking about what Baiyu said. But he couldn't find the feeling. He quickly attacked Capemon. He is practicing the use of haki. Capemon immediately noticed Luffy's state. Moon step. He immediately dodged Luffy's attack and jumped into the air. Naval skills. Luffy frowned. Got it? A man suddenly launched a sneak attack on Luffy. Mean. Luffy frowned. What he hated most was sneak attacks. His armed fists were mercilessly blasted out. Bang. Before his fists even touched the person who attacked him flew out and fell on the ground. In the water outside the ring, he was cut into pieces and eaten by fighting fish. Luffy was stunned for a moment. Not because of the fighting fish, but because he seemed to have done it with the punch just now. He didn't touch the person, but he knocked him away. Then, strike while the iron is hot and start attacking others, trying to remember the feeling just now. But I can't find the feeling at all. Who are you? Keep Man was also very surprised when he saw Luffy's progress. He knew several levels of Haki's training, but there were too few people who could actually do internal destruction. Boom! So strong. Luffy was startled and hid quickly. The two fought together again. This time Luffy had the successful experience last time, and Luffy became more and more proficient in the use of Haki. A sparring opponent like Capiman, in Luffy is still very stressed when he doesn't use his fruit ability and 8-gate dungeon. There are fewer and fewer people in the arena, and the strength of the remaining people cannot be underestimated. One of them, a tall bald man, looked at Kepman and Luffy frowned. Why does that little man look so familiar? Go to hell. Seeing that the bald head was distracted, someone immediately launched a sneak attack. 8 punches. Bang. The person who attacked was instantly knocked away and fell to the ground. The green pepper of the cone. It's him. A man who once had a bounty of more than 500 million belly at his peak. I heard that his head was punched flat by Marine Garp. It is really unexpected that such a legendary mission has also come to the bullfighting arena. It seems that the final winner of this competition is full of suspense. Diamante. S excited voice echoed throughout the arena. Asshole. Ching Jiao was exposed and felt very unhappy. Especially when he thought about that bastard Garp, he couldn't even open the treasure. It's been 30 years. Did Grandpa hit him? Luffy blurted out subconsciously. Grandfather? King Jiao's ears were very good, and he immediately looked at Luffy. And Kepman was also stunned. At this moment, he understood why the person in front of him looked so familiar. Straw Hat Luffy. Keep Man roared angrily. His brother died in the last round of the Straw Hats, so he entered Dressrosa alone. He just wanted to find the Straw Hats and avenge his brother. Now he finally meets. When it comes to me, how could I let it go? I'm not. Luffy turned his head, looked at the sky, and said with a guilty conscience. Not gonna lie at all. Carpman complained, with all his firepower. Garp's grandson. Ching Jiao also rushed over angrily. Since he couldn't find Garp to take revenge, he would catch his grandson to relieve his hatred. Faced with the attacks of two powerful opponents, Luffy still had the Sea Tower Stone on him to suppress his strength, and he was immediately attacked. Suppressed. Ching Jiao jumped up high, head down, and fell rapidly like a meteorite. 8 punches. Wutiu Yu. Boom. The powerful impact washed away all the disguises on Luffy's body. There were also cracks in the ring. And the sea stone around Luffy's neck also fell to the ground. Straw Hat Pirates. Captain Straw Hat Luffy. The 5 emperors offered a reward of 2.5 billion belly. Oh my god. In this battle, we can actually see the new emperor. The moment I saw Luffy's true face, the scene immediately went into an uproar.